Yeah, my boss is a huge racist. I'm not just saying that. You guys will see for yourself, but I started at this new position. It's honestly my dream job. I've always wanted to work in this sector for a long time, basically my whole life. So imagine my surprise when I get the only boss in the entire company who is absolutely racist to the core. Guys, keep in mind, I'm pretty high up on the ladder when it comes to this company. I know I'm new, but I have experience, right? So imagine my surprise when I walk into the office on my first day and my boss tells me to go get him his coffee, while his secretary's sitting right there. Keep in mind, she gets paid to do that. And then he said the most racist thing ever. My racist manager definitely hates me. That's the only explanation. If you haven't read the title already, you might not have a clue about what I'm talking about, but I'm 28, I'm a black woman who has been the victim of my racist manager for too long now. I'm getting really tired of it, and it's extremely depressing. Maybe writing about this is exactly what I need to stop myself from imploding. Despite beating all the stereotypes that black people have had to face in this country, I'm still being treated like I'm less than others. My manager is discriminatory, and I really need advice on how to handle it. Talking about this just means that I have to go back to the origin of all the issues, you see. I've been working at this bank for over 5 years now. I got hired when I was 23, and I just didn't pick out any place because I needed to earn money. I already had my eyes set on here since I was in college studying in finances. So when I was told that I was the best choice for the job by my current employers, I knew I just had to live the best days of my life. It was quite a grand affair, to be honest. My parents threw me a massive party because I'm the first person in the family to actually graduate and make use of their degree as soon after school, so it was a really big deal. I wanted them to be proud of me, so it made it easy to be focused on my job, and it got better when I realized how much I loved my job. I disagree with people who say that corporate jobs don't pay you when you put all your work into it, because mine paid well. The hours were good, and I really enjoyed my job, and my hard work paid off. Being an employee of the month came with a lot of benefits where I work, and I've been an employee of the month for almost 20 times. That's how much I love my job. Well, that and the fact that you get shopping vouchers worth a sizable amount of money. Due to this hard-working personality, everyone knew me. I was transferred to another department in under 2 years of working at the bank. I was 25 when I got transferred to the toughest department, where everyone knows investment banking, and I knew it came with a pay raise and everything else better than my former department. But I was ready. I loved my job, and I wanted to get better at it, and that included being head of the department before I was 35. I gave myself that mark because ideally being a manager at the bank means you must have worked there for at least 5 years. I gave myself longer because anything could happen. That was my timeline until our monthly roundup sometime 2 years ago. I've been working in the investment sector for about a year, and I was doing really well. My Employee of the Month record followed me there, and it didn't take long for the bank's managing director to notice me. As he was looking at our charts, he commended me for being the biggest asset and told me that with my record, I was on my way to being the head of the investment sector in no time. Well, that period was 3 years. That changed my mind, so I worked harder, anything to reach the goal. Well, here's the problem. Since I got transferred to investments, there has been constant pains in my neck. And that is my manager. That man's the reason I'm even here today. As I said, being a black woman means you have to endure a lot of stuff. And I've done them pretty well until I started working under this man. On my first day there, I was sent on an errand by my manager, who will now call Andrew at this point. When he told me to go and get him a cup of coffee when his secretary was sitting in front of the office, I asked him why he could not send his secretary. Andrew replied by saying that he was my boss and he could make me do whatever the heck I wanted. That was the beginning of the constant bullying and demeaning I endured from him. It didn't take me long to realize that Andrew was racist because he started saying things like I should not have any trouble running errands since it was what my ancestors did for him. I told him that was before we had rights, but now I was not going to run errands for him anymore. Andrew retaliated by dumping loads of paperwork on me and taking away one of my most important clients. I quickly realized he wasn't going to stop, so I endured everything because I didn't want to lose my job. I became used to being ridiculed and humiliated by Andrew because of the color of my skin. Don't get me wrong, Andrew is a horrible man regardless. No one in my department likes him because of how mean and annoying he can get. Andrew's the kind of man who will breathe down your neck till he gets what he wants. That did not stop him from being a brilliant banker. He's incredibly smart, which is a shame for the kind of personality that he has. I'm saying this all because it is why no one really paid attention to what he was doing to me. Most people would see it as him being mean, per usual, except he did not make other people in the department pick up their dry cleaning or be a babysitter for the cousin when they should be working. No, they got paperwork, they got extra hours, or maybe a rude comment, but for me, it was everything. He made me carry stuff to his car, deliver letters to other departments, pretty much everything that was the work of a secretary. Like I said, everyone dislikes Andrew except Alex. It was always so surprising to see Andrew be nice to Alex despite being mean to the rest of us. We tried our best to snoop around and see what exactly was going on and why, but we never really found anything out about it. Well, that's been my life for the past 5 years. I've been mistreated by the manager, and another woman is now getting the recognition and upgrade I should have been getting. It may sound like I'm just being jealous, but you're only jealous of someone who is on the same level as you, right? Well, I'm talking about Alex. This happened 2 weeks ago when we were finally told that somebody was going to be promoted to assistant manager in the department. The rest of my coworkers were already teasing me, calling me, assistant manager, by the time we were informed. I didn't reject the title because I know I deserved it the most and my coworkers knew it too. So we were very, very surprised, maybe me more than others, to hear that Alex was the one that was promoted. We were not sure what was going on because there was no way Alex could have been promoted ahead of anyone in the department. Everyone knew it. Alex, who works in our department, is not even qualified enough to be an assistant manager. She showed up to work late, messed up paperwork, and caused more than one trouble for us when it came to the copier. What kind of qualified person messes up the printer 10 times in a row? I might be ranting now, but wouldn't you be concerned if the person in charge of your finances doesn't know the meaning of being liquid? This is the investment banking for the love of all good things. It just made no sense that Alex was the one being promoted. I was angry because I have just been passed over for something I deserved. The promotion should have been mine, and I decided to confront my manager because if doing everything he made me do over the years didn't make him change his mind about recommending me for the promotion, well, then it meant that nothing I did was going to change his mind about me. I went to meet Andrew and asked him why he blocked my chances of the promotion. His response is the most demeaning thing I've heard all my life. Andrew tells me that it just did not seem right for someone like me to be put in charge of any administrative duties. Well, I asked him what he meant by that, and he said that there's no way somebody who looked like me was going to make co-decisions or be next in line to him. That just meant that he wasn't going to have a black woman progressing anywhere he's in charge of. I drove home partly in shock and in tears because as much as I've been affected by racism throughout my life, none had come close to what just happened. How was I supposed to deal with the fact that my career was being blocked because of the color of my skin and my heritage? The next day was worse because Andrew was mean to me more than usual. He did the worst things by telling me that I had to do everything Alex asked me to do since he was, she's the assistant manager. Again, I thought my life just simply could not get any worse. Well, it's been 2 weeks since then, guys. And the story that's traveled around is that me, Nicole, and I are jealous of the bitterness because someone got promoted before me. Andrew would see me passing and make rude comments to his friends loud enough for me to hear. I need your advice even though I can't figure out what I'm asking strangers for advice about my life for, but I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to handle bullying when the bully is my boss and I can make, just me quit or get fired at the drop of a hat? What if he frames me because he hates me? Any suggestions would be much appreciated. Update number 1. Hey again, I don't think that I was going to be coming back after my last post. So the comments that were left and everything that's happened for the past 2 months have forced me to ask for advice again, because I don't know what to do at this point. Remember how I was passed over for a promotion because I was black? Well, I suspected my manager of racism and even believed the possibility. As it turns out, oh boy, I was right. Unfortunately, it goes beyond me. I thought it was just me that Andrew was mean to, but, because I'm a black woman. But it's so much worse than that. I'm not even the first target of his subtle racism. Yes, I know many people said that I should have resigned and left, but my job is too precious for me to give up. This is not all, because I may have found more reasons to stay. If all this plays well, I never have to worry about my racist manager again. So, a quick backtracking because I know you may want to know what has been going on for the past 2 months. In a word, hell. And more, Andrew has become worse than the last time I came on here to talk, guys. And it got so hard sometime last month that I almost quit my job. As you guys suggested, I talked to HR, but I quickly found out that Andrew has friends everywhere. It was barely 2 days since I talked to HR when Andrew called me to his office and asked me if I thought he wasn't doing me a favor by telling me the truth. See, Andrew's idea of the truth is being racist, so I was not surprised when I discovered that what I'm about to tell you. 3 weeks ago, a coworker of mine, Caroline, came to me during lunch breaks and told me not to feel discouraged because if I quit, I would be giving Andrew the satisfaction of maintaining a no black people zone. I wasn't sure I heard her right, so I told Caroline please explain what she meant. She had been working in investments for almost 7 years, and according to what she told me, every black banker who's been under Andrew since he became manager had quit after they started to struggle. I didn't know how to react to everything she told me because I wasn't expecting it. I was angry to find out that other people went through exactly what I was going through, and I wanted to give up, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I begged Caroline to tell me everything she remembered, and I'll tell you this. Andrew's been doing this intentionally. The fact that it was a subtle change, nothing. He's racist, and I'm not his first victim. I want to expose Andrew, but I don't know how to go about it. If he passed me over for his promotion because I'm black and nothing else, then he has to go. He has to go because I'm not quitting my job because of a racist person. I asked Caroline to help me. She agreed. A friend of hers was a victim of Andrew's bullying, and I'll be back with more details for you guys soon enough. Update number 2. I told you I wasn't going to give up. And this is exactly what I've been doing. 3 weeks ago is when I told you that, so as I said, Caroline agreed to help me because what was happening to me hit me too close to home. She said discreetly, though, because Andrew could not know that I was building a case against him. Anything can happen if he finds out, and I don't think Caroline would risk her job that much. So it's been about 3 weeks of searching and digging, and this is going to be my big break. We started with Caroline's friend who told us how Andrew had made her a maid when he became a manager. He also said that he would tell her that she could count herself lucky because he was not the one who interviewed her. Based on what she said, Andrew didn't hide how much of a racist he was to her. Another woman we talked to said he hit on her while she was working in our department. Andrew told her that she didn't have the qualifications to be at her job and that she could make sure that she wasn't fired if she just did what he wanted. However, she was married and decided to quit. There was just multiple stories like that from women he interviewed, and many of them only stayed for 3 months or less because Andrew was either threatening them or bullying them until they quit out of pure pressure. One of them was black and who even said that Andrew had cornered him at a restaurant and told him to quit his job or else he would have him framed for theft. Investment banking was a really risky business, and there was a huge possibility of money going missing, or maybe even going lost due to a bad decision. So, all of these were very disheartening and sad to hear, but I knew it wasn't going to be enough. The last person we talked to was Gabriel, another one of Caroline's friends. She had quit just before I was transferred, and I expected her story to be something similar to what we had heard before. Oh boy, was I wrong. Gabriel said the reason she had left was because Andrew had threatened to rope her into something she didn't do. She told me that there was more to what she was telling me, but that she wanted to be sure that I was going to see the whole thing through at the end. I even promised her that if I didn't, I was going to lose my job, so I had to get a lot to lose. Well, she excused herself and went into another room, and when she came back, she was holding a bulky envelope and told me that the envelope was the reason she quit her job at the bank. You'll not believe what I'm about to share with you. Andrew's been embezzling company funds for more than 6 long years. I asked her why she didn't do anything about this after she found out, and she told me Andrew threatened to frame her for what he did. Well, what he told her was even more horrifying. Andrew had confidently told her that he would frame her and have her sent to jail. He told her that no one was going to believe her because she was black, and, quote, her people had the tendency to steal whenever they were put in charge of these things. Unfortunately, some of the accounts Andrew had been using were the ones that Gabriel had been in charge of as well. Andrew told her he wasn't going to have her arrested if she just left quietly. I was horrified to hear this happen to Gabriel, and I complained that Andrew had made me his maid. I told Gabriel I was going to need help over the course of time, and she agreed. She only asked what Andrew should never find out until it was way too late for him. So, before we left, she asked if Alex was now working at the bank. Caroline and I were surprised when we discovered that she knew Alex. She said that the other condition Andrew gave, so he would not frame her, was that she would never tell anyone about seeing Alex making out with him in the office. Caroline had told her about the promotion, and Gabriel's response was that Alex must have faked her qualifications because the last thing she knew about Alex was that she was a drama major in college. Well, Gabriel overheard this, and she had just given me the key to taking Andrew down. She documented everything and gave it to me in that envelope. Update number 3. Wow, guys, I am back with an update. Are you ready for this one? It's been 4 months, yes, I know, a long time. But my lips have been sealed shut for the duration on purpose. I couldn't tell you anything else because the way things have been going needs a little discretion. After I found out that Andrew was embezzling funds from the bank, I didn't waste any time before I asked for a private meeting with the manager in charge, the director, who we'll call Mike from now on. I told his personal assistant that it needed a lot of discretion so no one would know that I was going to see him. I told him everything I found out and what led me to search in the first place. Well, Mike asked me if I had proof of everything that I've been saying, and I told him everything. What I did not include the last update was that the people I had gone to see had agreed to be involved in the investigation as long as it meant that they were getting compensated and Andrew paid for what he did. Mike asked me if I was sure of everything I said. I told him I was. He told me not to tell anyone what I had just told him, and a week after that I was asked to come to his office again. However, when I got there, it wasn't just Mike, it was the board of directors, and it seemed like they were waiting for me. It was confirmed they were here for me. And guys, they wanted me to repeat everything that I had told Mike, and I did, and handed over the envelope that Gabriel had given me. They told me they were going to investigate the matter. Well, it's been 4 months since then, and almost I gave up about, because nothing else had been said about the matter. I didn't know that anything was going on until Gabriel asked to talk to me. She said that she's been helping detectives at the board of directors with everything that she knew, so they could expose Andrew. Well, I was happy that things had actually been moving without me knowing, and a few days ago Mike called me to the office, and when I got there he thanked me for helping to uncover everything that's been going on. The proof that Gabriel provided, it matched. Andrew had indeed been embezzling company funds. When I asked about Andrew being discriminatory towards black people, Mike told me that they've gathered plenty of testimonies from the other people who had left since Andrew became a manager in charge. And, well, he also told me how sorry the company was for not noticing the trend of black people constantly leaving the bank. Well, they've decided to have Andrew sued and arrested for embezzlement and his discriminatory attitude towards black people. I'm very happy because I'm finally getting compensation for Andrew's bullying over the years. I'm even happier because people, like Gabriel, don't have to worry about living in fear of being accused of something they had no part in. It's finally coming to an end. Update number 4. Hey guys. Andrew has been arrested. He's finally out of my life for good, and Andrew has been stopping my career from progressing for the longest time. And I'm happy that it's finally over. I know you're all dying to hear exactly how it all happened. Well, here it goes. Andrew was arrested 2 weeks ago, and it was the most shocking way possible. I'd gone to work that day with the same expectation that Andrew was going to bully me as usual. I'd gotten used to it by that point, and it did not bother me much, as many of you suggested. Don't let it bother me. I was feeling a lot better that day. However, because of what Mike had told me a few days ago, I was summoned to his office when he told me that he needed a bait of Andrew, so he would have nothing to hide under. The reason was that most of the proof that they had of Andrew's discriminatoriness, his attitude, was nothing more than testimonies of people who straight up suffered from it. So he decided that we needed even more proof that he was racist. I was eager to make this plan work, so I agreed. I didn't have to do much because I knew Andrew. He would never pass up a chance to bully me, which brings me back to 2 days ago. As usual, I clocked in and went about my regular day. Andrew soon came in and asked me to go and get his coffee, and I told him I wasn't going to do that because I was not his maid. The office went completely quiet, and Andrew looked like he was about to pop a nerve. He said he wasn't going to ask again, and I told him I wasn't going to repeat what I said, but that I wasn't going to do anything of the sort since I'm a banker. I'm not a maid. Andrew gets furious at this point and abandoned the subtle racism. He starts saying the worst things you can imagine. He told me people like me don't even deserve titles like a banker. He said that the maid I thought I wasn't was a more befitting title for me. And he told me I was going to go back to where I came from and he was going to see to it. I don't think he'll be doing that because he wasn't done talking when police officers followed Mike into our department. We all watched as the managing director told Andrew everything that he has done. The officers read him the usual things you hear when somebody gets arrested before asking him to surrender to them. And Andrew went into a full-blown tantrum, starts screaming and yelling, and he called me bad luck and many other names I will not bother posting here. I didn't care because I knew it was finally over. Well, my nemesis is gone for good, and I have never been more relieved. Anyways, the day wasn't over. Before Andrew's things were cleared from the office, a new journey begins. I guess it's over now. Let me know. Do you think this jerk deserved it? He's facing criminal charges.